Guys, do you want to feel younger, stronger, and sharper at age 50? Well, I've got news for you. That work doesn't start at 49 or 48. It starts in your 30s. So today we're going to go into some actionable tips here, Kat, to help guys really age with grace and feel great by the time they hit age 50.
With energy.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is a great topic that everybody can benefit from. And I think it's about playing offense. Get off the defensive line and get on offense for your health early.
Yeah,
right?
these are things that I wish I knew in my 30s as I now just turned 48.
Absolutely.
And I feel like I'm doing everything possible, every biohack, and we'll dive into these today. Welcome to Balls Deep, a humorous yet informative medical show with a mission of optimizing your performance in the bedroom, the bathroom, and the boardroom. I'm your host, Dr. Joe Pazona, a board-certified urologist and CEO of Pazona MD. We hope you enjoy. Now, let's jump right in.
Okay, so stay with us. We've got 4 lesser-known strategies, and let's start with alcohol. A lot of people like to unwind with a drink after work on the weekends. A lot of us are living in our 30s and 40s like we're still living in college. Why is this dangerous?
Yeah, this is something that personally I wish I knew and instituted. I was in my early 30s. I was having kids, just starting my really career in healthcare after a very long training program. And, drinking a bottle of wine over the weekend was not that big of a deal. But what I didn't realize is, first and foremost, it sabotages your sleep. When you have even 1 or 2 alcoholic beverages, you do not get restorative sleep. We've got studies showing that the hormone levels of people who are chronically sleep deprived are those of people who are 10 years older.
Right.
So, and it often starts with the booze, never mind the fact that it adds to the waistline, and then that starts sneaking up on you. So I really wish in my 30s, like someone sat me down and said, listen, alcohol is a toxin and you need to treat it as such, because that's truly what it is. There's no such thing as, quote, a safe amount. Now, I'm not a teetotaler. You know that about me.
Sure.
I like to enjoy a nice Manhattan or a good glass of red wine with a steak. But it's all about the frequency and the overall quantity you're having. So I wish in my 30s I had just dialed that back and just set aside those couple times a year. I want to have a lot of fun with some friends. The 1 or 2 nights a week I enjoyed a glass of wine instead of the 3 or 4 nights.
Or every night.
Hey guys, are you feeling tired, irritable, having trouble losing those few extra pounds that you've put on through the years? Well, maybe we can help. What we're offering today is a complimentary 15-minute discovery call with one of our team members at Pazona MD. We see patients from all across the country. So click on the link below in the description and see if you're eligible to become a partner with us at Pazona MD. Now, back to the show.
Okay, you mentioned something which actually brings us to the second thing we want to prioritize, sleep.
Yeah, we've talked about sleep a lot on this show, but again, back to earlier habits. So you're still kind of living like you're in college when you're 31,
Still
32.
living in college.
Right? But also let's talk about a big thing that happens to a lot of people in their 30s. You start having kids. And sleep is really, really tough when you've got little ones waking you up. So
Correct.
What are some tactical things people can do? Well, I think, good sleep starts first thing in the morning. You've got to get adequate sun exposure. People don't understand the power of light. And it's getting good light early in the day. So actual sunlight, getting outside, having the window shades open. And then it also means later in the day, avoiding that awful blue light of your phone, your computer, your tablet.
Oh, the screens.
It is destroying our sleep, destroying our hormones. So if you want to feel good at 50, guys, starts in the morning, get out, get some sunlight, and then stop looking at that phone in the bed.
At least 2 hours before you're trying to go to bed.
I'd say a minimum.
A minimum.
Yep.
Okay.
So the third thing, I think I did pretty well, but I wish I was a little bit more intentional about, was getting my butt out of a chair. So there's something that we've called dead butt.
Oh, are we calling dead butt?
Dead butt, not dad butt, dead butt.
Dead butt.
Dead butt will lead to dad butt.
New term for me today.
And it's sitting in a damn chair all day. So, I've worked out probably most of my adult life, but I probably then just sat in a chair or my couch the whole rest of the day. And what we're learning is the importance of non-exercise related movement. And that means just getting up and moving every hour and a half. It means not sitting at a desk for hours. It doesn't mean like, oh, I worked hard today, so now I get to watch 4 hours of TV. Go for a walk after dinner. Go outside with your kids. You've got to move around. And walking is probably one of the most underappreciated, powerful tools to live a longer, healthier life.
I think you can also try to make this activity fun of just getting your movement, like hiking, pickleball, swimming, whatever an activity you like, just to get you out of the chair.
And it doesn't,
off your dead butt.
Yeah, and it doesn't need to be like I've got to go for a 2-hour walk every day and I don't have time. It's wake up and go for 15 minutes outside. You can do that.
Or get up from the chair, walk to the end of the driveway, come back in.
Yeah. It's taking that walk over your lunch hour. It's as soon as you get home with your wife and kids before jumping right into the chaos, go for a family walk and then repeat it again after dinner. If you do that and just walk around in the midst of your day, you're going to hit close to 10,000 steps pretty easily without even trying.
Great. So
the last one that I want to talk about, because people always like biohacks, and one thing that I've really enjoyed recently is heat, specifically the sauna. We've recently in the past couple of years invested in a sauna, and honestly, I wish it was something I invested in earlier. In the short term, I think it's just a great stress reliever. You're kind of in there, you're raising your heart rate. There feels just something good about sweating. Put on some mood lighting and some music. We like being in the sauna together. It's a time to just chillax and, really breathe hard if you can relax at 180 degrees.
I have him quarantined in a hot box, and then he has to sit there and visit with me. It's great.
But we've also got data showing that, sauna, 4+ times a week for a total of just 20 minutes at a time can potentially decrease your all-cause mortality, meaning everything that kills us is less likely when you are a consistent sauna user. And we've got studies out of countries like Finland who are really avid, sauna users that show this information. So I think it's a powerful tool. And again, we spend money on so many ridiculous things. Like this is something that actually has great data. It's a great thing to incorporate into your routine today. And I honestly wish I invested in much earlier in life.
Well, you mentioned heat, so what about the opposite? What about cold? Because I know that you love a cold plunge.
Yes, you do. I mean, so much so that
it's a little crazy.
Yeah, our recent cold plunging method kind of died when our water heater broke. Now our water's too hot, so I'm going to be trying a new device. Stay tuned. We'll see how that goes for some more videos. The data for cold plunge, we don't really have right now in terms of longevity, but I'll say this, one thing that you don't realize in your 30s when you're kind of still relatively invincible, when, as you start getting into your 40s, little bumps and bruises and aches and pains tend to linger a little bit longer, is that the cold plunge has been a miracle worker for back pain, for inflammation, for recovery from workouts.
It's true.
And so I honestly wish I started that earlier as well. And that even though it may not help you live longer, it's going to help the life you do live be a little bit more pain-free. And also we've got data showing it's sort of like a happiness maneuver. When you jump in a cold body of water, it releases all these neurochemicals that are the happy hormones. And so, how many times I come home stressed out, young kids, it's like, shit, I bet if I just jumped in the cold tub, I would have been a lot happier. And, the rest of the night would have went more smoothly. So I still think it's something I would have liked to start in my 30s. So Stream Team, there you go. These are actionable tips that you can start today. And listen, if you're not in your 30s and you're getting close to 50 like me, it's never too late to start. These things are always great. But if you are younger and still feeling like, well, I don't need a doctor, well, at least start doing these things so that by the time you hit my age, you feel great, you look great, you perform great. Because we're about optimal performance here at Pazona MD. So until next time, show yourself a little bit more love and grace. We're all works in progress, and these are opportunities to grow. Thanks, and have a great day.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Balls Deep. If you'd like to join our stream team of listeners, please click the subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform. For more information about our practice, Pazona MD, please visit PazonaMD.com. This podcast is for informational purposes only, and the content is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice. The show does not constitute the practice of medicine. No doctor-patient relationship is formed through this podcast or any of the social media channels related to this show. The use of this information is at the user's own risk. Users should not disregard or delay in obtaining medical advice from any medical condition they have, and they should seek the assistance of their healthcare professionals for any such conditions.